We should go around and do our vote of who gets the assets, Netflix or Paramount.
I just think these people are all they're so sad they haven't been in a news cycle in a while. It's all been Trump or AI. They're like, we need a news cycle. Like, we need to be like relevant.
David Ellison has been in the news. Second of all, David Ellison is the scion of Oracle. I see some irony here.
Yeah, he's jealous of his dad. Yeah, I'm here.
Sam's here. Welcome, everybody, to this week's More or Less.
For now. I don't have anything to eat. I'm just going to get something to eat. I'm so hungry.
You don't have Yasso stacked behind you? What's going on?
I've like eaten them all.
Sam, we need you to have energy, man.
I don't know. I think you guys can carry this one. I'll just, scroll the internet and buy things. What do you got?
Okay, folks. It's December. The year is not yet over. The news is flying. How's everyone doing? How's everyone holding up? Who's got a flu-like symptoms? Raise your hand. That would be me.
Our household has flu symptoms. Dave and I are waiting for it. We're waiting for it to hit us.
Yeah, I don't have it yet.
But the offline holiday party's tomorrow, and we can't be sick.
You'll be fine. Just pound emergency. I was running a cold last week, but the key is just like as much emergency as your body can handle, and you blow right through it.
Have you guys seen those nasal sprays that actually prevent you from inhaling all of the bad germs and things like COVID? Actually, Alex Roche sent out an email about this.
Does this actually work?
Wait, tell me more.
No, you know about this, Jess. We have a mutual friend who was very into this during COVID.
Sorry, what is it?
A nasal spray to stop you from getting COVID. You don't remember this whole series?
Oh, yeah, that's old news. That is old news.
Wait, are we not into this? Does it not work? Wait, I have it right here. It's called Profi, Profi.
More or less. Brought to you by Profi.
Helps block and remove airborne contaminants for up to 8 hours. Guys, I'm shooting up right now. I'm not getting sick. I've got 24 hours to go.
That's preventative.
This is preventative. You're supposed to take it like when you get on the airplane and when you're around sick people.
You know what that is, Brit? That's subsidized by the Colombians. They want you to get used to sticking things up your nose.
That's not funny, actually.
One of our LPs told me about this. I'm trusting them to tell me that it's real.
It's a loss leader for using a different set of holes in your face.
I'm going to do a double spray, actually, just to be safe.
Exactly.
Sam, none of those drugs are getting to America anymore.
I mean, if they start blowing up boats carrying that shit, that'd be pretty funny.
Isn't that what they are blowing up the boats carrying?
The nasal spray? No.
Oh my God, do we have to talk about blown up boats? Let's not. Okay. So everyone gets their health tip of the week. Brits is that. Everything has failed me this time. The emergency, the electrolytes, the zinc, the red light. Everything's failed me. So I have nothing. Those are my go-tos.
What about sauna?
The sauna dehydrates me.
I've saunaed twice today already.
I'd like the record to show it is solidly midday. It is solidly midday at the taping of this podcast. Okay. So consider that.
I also hot tubbed and cold plunged and worked out.
And red light therapy?
No, I haven't had time for red light. The problem with red light is you can't really do conference calls while you do that.
No, because you're supposed to be naked.
Yeah. Audio only.
You gotta be real careful with that. Do not turn on the camera button.
Yeah, that's an HR lawsuit waiting to happen
for people
Sam.
like me. What I really want is them to release a version of Zune with like no camera, because it's so fucking dangerous, right? Like I'm like terrified of like the hot tub, turn on camera button.
You're one of few people who has this concern, Sam.
It's like the platinum edition of Zoom just has no camera because it's like you can't. It's too dangerous.
Guys, we were at a hotel this weekend and I was on the treadmill and there was a guy on the treadmill next to me who was on a video chat with someone and this woman was naked. She was full naked. Like I saw
what?
Her. Yeah. And he's on the treadmill next to me, just casually talking to her. And she's just.
I'm not going to lie. That's amazing.
She wasn't sexually naked. She wasn't doing like sexual things, but she was just like.
How do you know?
Because I was looking at it while I was running on the treadmill.
Maybe he has a fetish for that stuff. It's just like.
Yeah. That's
I was
wild.
Like, what is going on? He wasn't even hiding it. He put it in the phone holder on the treadmill. It was interesting. Anyway, but we were in Vegas. So maybe that was, I don't know, maybe there's some tie there. I don't know really what was happening.
Okay. Any other health tips, health corner? I gotta tell her, we're talking about Netflix, Paramount, Warner Brothers, guys. This tech podcast, I'm pulling you over to the media side.
We have media people here.
Yeah, we talk media.
I'm happy to bullshit about anything. No knowledge required. What are these things? Let's talk about it.
Okay. No one's got more health. That's fine. We'll all just survive. Okay. So as of an hour ago, Polymarket put the odds that either Netflix buys Warner Brothers, home to HBO, among other things, or that Paramount with David Ellison buys it, each at 48%, according to Polymarket. So I think everyone probably knows Warner Brothers has been for sale for some time, all or pieces of it. There's a difference whether CNN plus some other stuff goes. Netflix.
Does anyone want CNN? No one wants CNN. Who wants CNN? CNN is free. You have to like pay someone to take a CNN.
Well, if you're David Ellison and you think that the idea of you controlling CNN will be something that the Trump administration will look favorably on, maybe you do want CNN. But basically, the quick recap here is Netflix made a move, some $80 billion bid, which is kind of wild and crazy. Ellison countered, having recently bought CBS with an even bigger bid for the whole company. But then there was a little bit of a backlash. And the idea that Paramount is so cozy with the Trump administration, Jared Kushner was one of the backers of the Paramount bid. And now there's a little bit of a backlash. And so now we're kind of at even odds, according to the Polymarket. Well, the backlash was against Paramount. So the thinking was that this would be Ellison's to lose because the Trump administration would be friendly to it. It's more money, yada, yada. But Netflix isn't really backing down. And I think Paramount probably still ends up with it, would be my bet at this point. But it's pretty.
You think Paramount's going to end up with it?
Well, but it's pretty close. It's
when
pretty
did
close.
Netflix announce this big? Is it down like 20% in the last month? Is that just like how much of the cost of this deal is just the driving people the Netflix stock price?
Well, Netflix shareholders are not happy about this. Well, because Netflix,
It's like what? It's 20%. It's like 20% of their market cap.
It's buying a content library, not necessarily revenue.
It's just math. You're going to make the revenue grow less quickly. Like, if you're valued on revenue growth and you buy a legacy media asset, it's going to like fuck your growth rate number top line.
the signaling's not great. We need dying Hollywood studio to keep growing from the young buck innovator. These are the stereotypes. Is not a great
To
look.
be clear, HBO is pretty awesome.
It's great content. Does it make Does it make money?
Just the fact that they have friends matters to me.
Shareholders aren't happy because Netflix buying this would be a protracted legal battle that would distract them as well.
Well, but on the flip side, it would distract Paramount more and they can't do shit during it. So doesn't it actually like, help Netflix get ahead?
I guess Netflix only bid $70 billion.
Oh, just 70. Well,
But isn't part of this also that everyone says if Netflix acquires them, it's also kind of the end of theatrical releases. And Netflix has tried to dispute this, saying, no, of course we'll put things in theaters.
Theatrical releases ended.
No, they've totally come back.
come back, please, Brit.
Come back. I don't even have to Gemini the answer from the pandemic.
Guys, there are films grossing hundreds of millions in revenue. There are films that are doing well in theaters. Well, Paramount's media statement.
Remember, Brit, tickets cost $100 a pop, so like 12 people went to that.
No, they don't for adults, but you got to get like the senior discount. So Paramount's making a statement that they should get to own Warner Brothers because they will reserve the right to continue to release the movies in theaters and Netflix won't. And it's like one of their big sticking points in this battle.
Who's sticking point?
That's not going to fly with anyone. This is like America's love affair with cars and movie theaters is over, guys. Like owning cars. Like we're just past that
You're
shit.
calling cars?
I don't know.
The muscle car to a movie theater era.
I think the immersive group experience is going to last and endure. It might not be at the same level
Brit,
it once
every
was. But
movie theater I've gone to in the past 12 months, I have been one of 4 people in.
What movie theater are you going to?
yeah, you're going to bad movies, Jess, clearly.
One of the other 4 is me.
Yeah, no, Sam, when we go to like San Mateo to see something.
We did go to one movie in New York. We went to Superman in New York. There was like a half the theater was full.
We go to the big movies on opening day and they're full.
To me, here's the interesting story. One of the greatest deals in history was AOL-Time Warner for AOL shareholders.
I was going to say, define great.
Incredible deal. The AOL stock had run up to bejesus dollars, right? They turned around and said, this number is a made-up number, but you know what we can do with this? We can go buy Time Warner. And they turned around and bought a super real company that was like a good company at the time, right? For nothing on a relative basis. And bada bing, bada boom, great deal. I mean, it was the worst deal in history for the Time Warner people. It was a great deal for AOL. I think this is kind of an interesting like echo boom to that, right? Where now we have the opposite, right? Which is instead of the fake currency company buying the real legacy asset, now we have the real value modern digital company that actually is a good company, Netflix, buying the fictitious value of a legacy media library, et cetera, for an inflated price. So I think, look, if you're on the HBO side of this and you're selling, God bless, you should sell, right? Like, and I think that'll look like no question, but it's just an interesting thing where it's I look at this as an inverse AOL-Time Warner.
Yes, I think that's right. So what do you think will happen?
Nothing. It's going to be like 2 years of legal fights, and Hollywood loves to talk, and they love this fight. Like, this is, I think, Hollywood's biggest thing. In general, all these people love attention. And so because they just love attention, they're just going to like, more bids will come in. There'll be more kerfuffle just so they can see their names in print in like the Hollywood Reporter or something for the next 3 years of arguing, and nothing will happen. And, you know, maybe HBO will change its logo 4 more times before anything happens.
Its logo or its name. We should go around and do our vote of who gets the assets, Netflix or Paramount.
I think it's someone else. It's Polymarket.
Okay, you can throw in a TikTok.
What?
You can throw in a Polymarket.
Wait, you think it's neither of them?
No. I think Paramount probably wins it in the end.
I just think these people are they're so sad they haven't been in a news cycle in a while. It's all been Trump or AI. They're like, we need a news cycle. Like, we need to be like relevant.
To be fair, David Ellison, so a couple points. David Ellison has been in the news. Second of all, David Ellison is the scion of Oracle, which is a leader in the AI boom. So I see some irony here.
Yeah, he's jealous of his dad.
I see some irony here.
Look, can he still afford it after Oracle's sell-off?
Yes, because it's all coming from the Middle East.
Jared Kushner is paying for
Kushner's backstopping it. Got
it's Kushner in the Middle East. Those are the people buying HBO and Warner Brothers.
Yeah, which we don't want the Chinese to have TikTok, although we actually seem to not really care about that, as it turns out. But we don't want the Middle East to have CNN.
It's like, do we care about anything anymore? I don't think we care about anything.
From what I understand, the KSA strategy here is to run the Japan in the 80s, K-pop in the 90s, 2000s strategy, and to try to establish itself as a media powerhouse over the next decade. If the group that wants it most wins, it's probably the Paramount consortium.
The most committed wins.
Yeah, like they're probably the most committed. It's like a nice thing to have for Netflix, but they don't need it. Right?
How are they going to leverage the distribution of this media then and to infiltrate American brains? The Middle East.
No. It has nothing to do with infiltration or anything. It's about building the brand of the KSA, world. Like they're trying to build like an actual new media powerhouse. And so it has nothing to do with the actual content. It has to do with actually having a studio.
When did everyone start calling them KSA, Dave? When did this is a new thing? Is this what you I know what it stands for, but like, is this what you VCs call it?
I didn't. I thought it was a pop band.
Is it like trying to rebrand? Is like Piff out and KSA? Is it KSA since like KYC?
Well, what else do you call them?
It's just like the DOE. Every time there's a scandal, you just rename it and people don't even know what it is.
Depends on which trade route you're talking upon.
Love trade routes. Look, here's the thing. Did you guys watch the South Park about the sponsoring of the South Park 5K for the turkey trot?
No.
Oh, it's great. The Kingdom sponsored the South Park turkey trot 5K just the greatest social commentary. That's the play. That's the play.
I love that Sam doesn't watch a lot of TV, but does watch South Park, like religiously.
South Park's great.
Nominees were presented.
Oh yeah, we can end with Pop Culture Corner.
Brit, I'm so glad that you're in touch with this part of America for us that cares about any of this stuff.
Guys, I know mainstream America. I'm just letting you know.
I don't think that's even mainstream anymore.
What? Yes, it is. So the Golden Globes are mainstream. And by the way, we didn't talk about Disney Plus and Disney's, like, this really is like consolidating all streaming media down to potentially Paramount, Netflix, and Disney Plus.
Guys,
right?
let me tell you something. It's called Bundle Unbundle.
I know, but guess who has the Taylor Swift docuseries premiere this Friday? Disney. And so they're still my horse, my lead horse in the race.
Didn't she already make a documentary? She made another documentary. The first one didn't do well enough.
This is her second.
It's a 6-episode series.
I love that. It's like what we could choose one distribution strategy, or we could just make 50 documentaries and distribute them in 50 places.
I mean, more power to her, lady. I mean, if I had a franchise where I could do that, like...
We do. It's called More or Less. We just bullshit on the internet once a week and post it.
But did you know we could be nominated for a Golden Globe next year? Because now that's a podcast art category at the Golden Globes. Just letting you know.
This is so ridiculous. But I actually want to know, I want to bring it back to the consumer for a sec.
Vote for us, everyone.
Please don't.
Let's go for a Webby first, okay? Low stakes.
Oh my God, no, please.
That's so 1995. Okay, keep going.
It was a joke.
Let's go for it. What are they? What's get Greg Gallant's one? The shorties. That's where you want to be.
There's no new awards. We should invent the new awards show for 2026.
I'm very pro awards.
I learned recently that the Golden Globes is the only fun award show because it's the only one you can drink at. That's my Golden Globes trivia didn't know that.
Can you sauna at it? Because that I would go to.
Oh God. Keep going, Jess.
Okay, as consumers, like, do we feel like all this consolidation, like Tube Prime, Flix Plus, I'll call it, is it affecting us as consumers? How do we feel about it?
I feel really good about it because I have less things that I'm subscribed to.
No,
and
you're going to subscribe to it all. Are you kidding? They're not going to take you less money. They're just going to like make you charge.
YouTube this week launched a skinny bundle.
I know. I cried when I saw it. I laughed so hard. I thought it was so funny.
With a skinny bundle, YouTube took some GLP-1s and now we can pay less.
Skinny is in.
Let's just acknowledge the greatness of YouTube, right? So forever they were like, we don't need the cable bundle. We'll just kill it. Then they were like, actually, it's taking us some time to kill it. So we're just going to replace it. And then they were like, okay, we're basically a winner in replacing it. We're going to slice and dice it the way we think people want to consume it and just like throw the old models of like verticals out. So like we determine what the bundles are. I thought it was so smart.
I was talking recently to someone about how like Coinbase is just becoming a diversified financial institution. One of the rules in business is you always become the thing you set out to kill. Like that's how this works, right? And so like obviously YouTube set out to kill cable and is just going to become cable. Coinbase set out to kill a financial world, is just going to become a mini JP Morgan. Like that's how this works. Facebook set out to kill traditional media and it now is traditional media.
Guys, people refer to us as legacy media and I think it's so funny.
So I think that, we had this big blow up with ESPN/ABC/Disney a couple weeks ago with YouTube TV, where they pulled all content off of YouTube TV and everyone freaked out. And I actually then subscribed to ESPN, which I hadn't done before as part of my Disney package because I needed to watch my sports. But then a week later, it reversed. However, now within 2 weeks later, there's a skinny bundle and one of them is a sports bundle. So there's definitely some weird business dynamics happening here between, I think, probably ESPN driving this.
Dave, how do you feel as a consumer? Is consumer Dave satisfied?
This is all so boring.
Boring.
It's not, though.
This is all so boring. I just think back to some of the media conferences that I've been to over the years where all they talk about for like the entire conference is, are we bundling or unbundling? Bundling or unbundling? It's the most boring business.
But is the content good? Are you satisfied as a consumer? This is what I want to know.
With what? All
with
of it?
The state of streaming. Like a big part of these deals is they're going to have to make the case that it's good for the consumer and for the content creator, probably, although I don't really understand that.
YouTube TV has been a great thing in terms of sports for the last couple of years. And I find that to be the best sports experience because you can just open it and press play and it's like always got the right thing that you're looking for. which is a surprisingly simple thing to deliver. It's just like, just give me the sports that are playing right now in NCAA and NFL and whatnot.
Unless you're on an airplane and traveling, and then it's like gets mad about it.
Yeah, that sucks.
You're out of your zone. I'm like, I'll pay more for the day. Like, why can't I just it's like ridiculous. I know it's not going to ever be addressed because it's too corner a case, but just can you please just charge me $100 so I can watch it not in my time zone for one day?
Totally. I bet it's not that corner of a case. I think that this is like, I don't know. That is the worst. That is the worst part of the user experience.
Brit, do people who watch the Golden Globes travel?
Yes, they do. And they're probably also watching them on YouTube TV quite often.
I just saw some stats. I mean, the travels up. Like, travel's really
but like
up.
half of Americans have never gotten on a plane.
Travel's really up, man.
Guys, Dave and I had our first Starlink experience on 2 different airlines.
Okay, I'm officially moving the topic. I want to move it to your Starlink experience. And then I want to talk a little bit about data centers in space. So, Brit, connect those things. Go.
Okay. I don't know if I can connect it to data centers in space, but I'll do. So Starlink is now available on many United flights.
I mean, they are the same thing.
44% of Americans fly commercial every year, and the other 44% ain't flying private.
And also on JSX, which is my favorite airline. For those who know, you know. And this is a game changer because now you can actually watch streaming video. You can play like video games. You can do Zoom calls.
Were people on Zoom calls? Because that would annoy me.
I didn't see anyone on Zoom calls. You know what else is less annoying? The internet doesn't shut off when you're descending and ascending. You've got like an extra probably 30 minutes of internet per flight because of Starlink.
But can I challenge you on this? I don't think that's where this nets out. Like, I think what nets out in terms of what happens is once the internet is too good on airplanes, you can no longer do anything other than work on airplanes because there's no excuse where it's like, oh, the internet's down, I'm going to watch a stupid fucking movie. So like, I actually think what'll happen is you'll have fewer red eyes. You'll have more daytime flights because it doesn't really matter if you're flying on the country if you have perfect internet. You can just do a normal work day, right?
Isn't that a good thing? Fewer red eyes?
I mean, Brian Johnson will be happy.
My sleep is the number one most important thing for my health.
It's like, that'd be pretty cool if United had a little like thing where like you pay more. It's like your sleep score will be impacted negative 30%. How much is your sleep score worth in United points? There's like some sort of exchange rate.
Especially for the lie flat seats. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think we will ultimately as a species miss having the disconnected moments of our lives.
Just think, they used to have like weeks of that on ocean liners. They play shuffleboard. It was amazing.
I think we will see stuff like that pop up where maybe there will be a Wi-Fi free airline pop up where you can be guaranteed no Wi-Fi on your flight and pay extra for it.
There's no chance that will. I actually think there's no chance.
Was it this crew that had the idea of like a fake airline where you would just go take advantage of the stationary business class seats?
That's Ricky Van Veen and me were iterating on this. Is the idea of like, I want to book a ticket. You don't even need to fly me anywhere. I just want like an airplane configuration. I get on and I sit in a chair and I book the hours of the flight and I get to put it on my calendar as I'm on the air. And then like you sit and you have a lay flat bed and a stewardess serves you. Can we say stewardess anymore? And like, you can just be like, it's like when else do you have 2 p.m. permission to take a nap in the middle of a Tuesday, right? Like you need to be on a flight, but you don't need to fly me anywhere. You know?
This is what I pitched for Waymo, by the way, where I just want to be in a driverless car for an hour with my meditation music. I don't care where it drives me around the city. I just want to be chill for an hour.
People actually are apparently talking about and doing this, which is you just like go from like San Jose or whatever, and if you just, it's the cheapest hotel room, you know, type thing.
Well, wait, speaking of, Dave and I also lived in the future again.
Yeah, let's go to self-driving cars.
Okay. So Dave and I were in Vegas this weekend, which is the only city that is currently testing Zoox autonomous vehicles.
That's not true. It's testing in San Francisco. I have an invite to it.
No, it's not actually running in San Francisco yet, Sam.
I don't know. I got an invite. I haven't used it yet, but I got an invite.
No, we got the invites too, but the cars aren't available.
They're still in testing, I think.
How did it measure to the almighty Waymo? Tell me.
It's so good.
Never riding in a Waymo again. I'm pro Zoox all the way.
Short Waymo.
Did you hear, by the way, a woman delivered a baby in a Waymo this week in San Francisco? Okay, we can skip. But
that's going to lower her driver's score.
It's like a booth. You're facing each other
It's really awesome.
and you can have conversations. And it's way more social of an experience. And I was saying how like I would have meetings in this car.
I actually think that it's a different app entirely. The way I was thinking about it is that the cars themselves are like different apps on top of the self-driving car experience. And the ones that have this social experience, like you're definitely going to want them when you're out with your family or your friends. Like people are going to make the choice between these different types of cars based on, what they want to experience.
Do you remember the era when all the VCs were getting like buses?
Shervin did this. I remember. Mm-hmm.
It was right before the pandemic.
And they would just like drive their buses up to San Francisco and like work out of the bus. It's kind of like that, right?
It was the last of ZERP.
I bet there are venture funds. Okay, within 2 years, assuming Zoox is approved in San Francisco, I bet there are deals for corporations where they can rent a Zoox for a day and just like people will host their meetings there all day. Yeah.
I would host meetings in Zooxes all day long.
You know what I would love? I think just for fun, they should have a Zoox that has a printer in it. Like you can order a Zoox with a printer, It's like, I need to go somewhere, I need to print some. Just because it'd be fucking hilarious to make it like an office.
I mean, why not add a fax machine while you're at it?
And like, it's like if it runs out of paper, it like drives itself to a Kinko's.
I don't think those exist anymore. Oh, they're owned by FedEx.
Okay, so self-driving car war is heating up. You guys heard it here first.
Yeah.
The Zoox are coming.
I wonder if it's going to be this like real battle, like iterative battle where you have to change the type of car pretty aggressively to be the experience that people want, because it's so shockingly better in the Zoox that it would strike me that this is going to be true.
Well, I have a couple of thoughts. First, have you seen there's a Waymo minivan out and about being tested.
I don't think they're facing each other though.
Okay. But that does not seem like this war is won or lost by the current configuration. Like, I'm pretty sure they can figure this out.
It's also like London and cabs, you can face each other. London, and like it's marginally better, but it's not like the end of the world. I don't know.
Okay, this brings me to another. Are we done with self-driving cars? I have another topic that's related, which is traffic and billboards.
Wait, first, before we do that, can we talk about space AI?
Oh, I never connected the space data centers to my Starlink.
Sam, I'll let you kick this off, but I have some thoughts.
Well, okay, this is the way I think about this. Years and years ago, you guys remember when Elon bought Solar City like overnight to save his cousin's company? And he wrote this memo being like, it's because we want to put solar panels on the roofs of Teslas. And everyone was like, that's stupid. But like, it's kind of the top level justification. I think he learned a lot from that because that worked really well. And so now it's like, here's the intersection.
Yeah.
It's rockets plus data centers plus solar. It's like, that's the era we're in, as we've scaled up from like the very quaint, put a solar panel on a Tesla, to put the data centers in space with solar panels. That's kind of my take on it. Great marketing. Cool Grok generated images. As a SpaceX shareholder, I want that. The only Elon company I love is SpaceX. I love SpaceX. I've always loved it. I'm a shareholder. God bless if they can get out of 1.5 trillion. And you know what? I won't even sell. Right? Like, I am very pro SpaceX. So if he wants to come up with a cockamamie story about it, God bless. But it's pretty crazy.
So here's some interesting data. A year or so ago, one of my great editors and reporters, Nick Wingfield, interviewed Jeff Bezos about Blue Origin. And like, I hope I'm getting this right. Sorry, Nick, if I'm not. But basically, he like floats this idea of data centers in space, sort of like orthogonally, or like it comes up in some context, but it's like not a big thing that people want to go into. And then the noise around it builds, and Sundar talks about it. And it's like kind of surprising that Elon is not talking about it yet, because Elon talks about everything. He talks about everything space and whatever.
It's all his favorite things.
But the missing piece of this was reported by The Information when we reported that SpaceX is telling some of its investors that they could be IPO ready at the end of next year. And now what is really clear is that this is part of his big thesis about how at an IPO, he is going to convince people that this already pretty incredible and incredibly valued company is going to be worth 10 or 20x more, or whatever you have to believe to buy into an IPO at like $800 billion.
He says 1.5 trillion.
Of course, right. So to get to 5 trillion.
And look, it's the one Elon narrative. Here's the thing. You like the teams you're on? God bless. Make that happen. That'd be awesome.
At the risk of like everyone who understands the energy crisis or the energy situation making fun of me, every conference I attend has a data center and energy panel. And the panel always has 3 people. 1 to 2 are on the side of, holy shit, this is a crisis and we will never have the energy we need to fuel AI. And then the other 1 to 2, depending on the panel, is like, this is a solved problem. We have total visibility towards how we're going to get there. And this is made up. And I assume the truth is somewhere in the middle, but I'm actually curious, like which one it is.
So my favorite thing that I saw float through the feeds on this the other day is, you guys remember Boom Supersonic that was like going to deliver supersonic?
Yeah, I saw that.
Look, I love the ambition. No fucking way. Like, this is like not a thing. Here's what I saw float through. Is amazing. Is, they've pivoted into? They're like, we're using the engine.
Generators. Supersonic generators.
The supersonic generator engine. And now we have a data center play. And like, to me, I'm like, this is hilarious because one, it's like, whoever invested in Boom Supersonic thinking they were going to deliver profitable supersonic airplanes, I thought for a moment, maybe Trump deregulation, it's not going to happen. So you're like, that was a dumb investment. But you'll be saved by the narrative, right? Because if they can pull off the narrative shift, which is kind of like a mini Elon of no, we actually just have this amazing engine we built like for powering data centers. That's like hilarious. And like a great example of where we are in 2025 in the most risky and also interesting way, where like it's all narrative and like they might pull it off. They might pull it off.
Is that one of the new strategies for company like later stage startups in 2025, which is how effectively can you pivot into the narrative shift with your next product line?
So Dave, I really think so. And I think it's a really interesting startup framework, right? Because hear me on this for a second. I was thinking about this. All this AI shit, generative, it for sure means that you can pivot faster. Right? Because like, think about it, like how the hell do you do this stuff? Whatever. Let's imagine all the deep research, regulatory filings, like all this complexity. This is actually the leverage of AI is pivot speed, right? Because all these things you need 50 experts to figure out. And now you're like, I'll get half of it really quickly. That then becomes interesting. It's like, what is a startup? It's like you collect people on a thesis. You want to be in like the right zip code where you're doing something of value that's kind of hard, right? But then you got to just watch the narratives and be ready to pivot it and move into like the central thesis so that you have a story that you can sell, right? I think this is always somewhat true on the internet. Like this happened a lot in like ad tech or whatever. You kind of build a stack and you squint at it, or like, remember like AppNexus was like building a competitive cloud and then became an ads thing. Like people pivot. But I think the speed of pivoting crazy things has gotten way faster, and narrative is everything.
And it may also be that the meme machine that is the internet has become even more effective at distributing to all of the entrepreneurs what there is demand for and what products like the market needs.
That's so short term.
Well, it's an interesting frame to think about these panels because you're right. There is this pretty intense conversation going on in like every podcast and every panel, like almost every day, about where are we going to get all this energy? Well, we can get the energy from fossil fuels, or, we would have to burn all the dinosaurs on Earth, or we can build nuclear. And now you sort of have this new thing happening, which it's not just Elon. I noticed that Sundar is like every single media hit that he did in the last 2 weeks is talking about data centers in space. And so he's also talking about, and he's actually citing very specific, this is the energy level that we need to achieve. We think we can only achieve it if we're actually like up there, closer to the sun. Now, whether or not you believe any of this,
are we
like
doing Dyson spheres now? Is like, are we already moved on from like circulating satellites to Dyson spheres? People love science fiction.
That's what people are talking about, right? And so whether or not this is a real thing, everyone is talking about this energy constraint. So all the entrepreneurs are looking at it like, no energy constraint in space, no energy constraint with supersonic generator. Like, I can apply my technology to this, and so I will do it.
Here's the thing, though. That is like, this is the question about efficient allocation of human resources at a big picture, right? Like the beauty of capitalism and markets is supposed to be this machine for allocating real resources based on actual dollar demand for things, right? Like this is Hayek 101. I love Hayek, right? Like the world is too complicated to understand, reduce it to prices, trade it. This is kind of, Polymarket has some vibes around this, sort of. But this is the other thing is like we now have a narrative machine on the internet, which produces a different signal of what to go work on and spend effort on, which is actually not a real dollar engine. It's not a market. It's like a attention market. And the good news about that is in some ways even faster and can run faster than a dollar market. The bad news about it is I think it is very, very prone to dramatic distortion or ending up putting a lot of people and resources on narratives that don't actually make sense because you're not actually transacting the dollars, right? Like you're transacting attention.
And is that the art of it, Sam? Like you've been right to point this out. You know, Elon's narratives are like this a lot. Is the art of this type of entrepreneurship being able to harness the narrative and the memes to attract the capital and then actually apply the capital to real, quote unquote, real business? And that's like the real art now?
Now we're figuring it out. I think that's exactly right, Dave. But I think the interesting thing is like Elon is the king of this, cheap dollars in. But then because he's so good at narrative, he's able to, and he's a public markets guy. Like he needs the public market in his stocks because he needs the people, the riffraff, to like bid it up and buy the narrative, which then becomes a flywheel of more capital, right?
But you can't just keep doing that without delivering something that actually works, right?
Well, but here's the thing. The question, the delivering something that works, it has to work a little bit because otherwise the narrative falls apart, right? So like if you think about it, like Tesla does not financially work as a public company. It doesn't, but they have a cool car and you need the cool car even if it costs way too much, like in and out, right? And to sell the dream. SpaceX, again, I keep saying it. I love SpaceX. The rockets are so cool. Starlink is awesome, right? Financially, it's not going to justify being a $1.5 trillion company. That's a narrative, right? But it's interesting because it's like there is this interplay, which is like story begets primary capital, begets more story, and something real begets more capital, begets valuation. And it's like this flywheel, but a lot of it's story driven. Like OpenAI is trying to do this too. It's like, what is OpenAI worth? Discounted cash flow, it's cents on the dollar, right?
It feels like the art is in the narrative choice, right? Like how far is the narrative from what is possible today with your current technology? It's like, it's not this crazy idea that they could take the same satellite technology that they're using to do Starlink, add more satellites to the constellation that have GPUs in them, use the same backhaul, like that's not the craziest narrative, nor is like, we can use the same robotic manufacturing lines at Tesla to build, more sophisticated robots than the Cybertruck, and those are called humanoid robots. And it's like just enough crazy that it's on the far end of crazy. And the art of it is figuring that out.
I love it. You need infinite TAM, right? Like story must be huge. Then there's something like a trust multiplier on the narrative. Whereas like if you're Elon, because you've pulled off a few hat tricks in your life, which he has, he gets like a multiple expansion on trust, like a multiple expansion on the narrative that like you don't get and I don't get, right, the same way. And so there's almost like a narrative expansion multiple, not just a financial multiple, right? All right, we've solved the world's problems. I love it, Dave. This is why we do this.
I like it when Dave and Sam go on a journey together.
But we're on this journey. The journey's basically decided, say whatever you want and ride the moment and raise the capital.
No, but not everybody can do this.
Well, but build a trust machine, build a machine, and then you got to like at least deliver 20 cents on the dollar. You got to deliver. That's what Tesla is. OpenAI, you got to deliver 20 cents on the dollar, right?
20 cents is the new 80-20.
I wish more women leaders would be able to sell big narratives. I feel like women can't do this well enough yet.
They end up in jail, although they deserve to. They deserve to be clear. I would like to be on the record about Elizabeth Holmes.
I don't know. The founder of Canva, like...
I think that women could be more crazy, push the envelope a little bit more.
But straight lying is almost the point. You can't straight lie. If you straight... Well, but Theranos did.
Well, yeah, duh.
Because that collapses your multiple expansion on the narrative.
Yeah,
for sure.
Going to jail discounts you for the next narrative a little.
Yes.
Or if you start tweeting from jail, you might be able to establish the next narrative.
Well, or it's like, what's interesting in terms of trust narratives? Like what's happening with SBF? It's like, it turns out SBF had a great venture portfolio, right? Like great venture portfolio, right? Like, but he also just completely cheated. And like, it's like, I don't know. It's like kind of wild when you think about these characters.
I think also Elon needs the money for X and XAI too. I think there's like, you have to remember, you're very smart to bring up Solar City, Sam. That is a very illustrative example of how he thinks.
You know what we didn't get to do in Vegas that I'm a little bummed about is go in a tunnel. And apparently the tunnel project, the boring company, whatever, it's really happening. And there's a new tunnel being dug from the Strip to the airport that'll be live next year. So, and only Teslas can ride in it. So we'll have to get out of our Zoox and get into a Tesla.
It sounds like the big dig. This was our college experience.
But in fairness to Elon, again, it's like you tell a vision, you get the trust multiple expansion that no one else can get. You get the capital. It turns out you should be able to dig a tunnel for a tenth the price of what it costs to dig a tunnel. He figures it out. Good for him.
Okay, I want to talk about my victory of the day. Can I talk about my victory of the day?
Go for it.
You've only had one?
There was fake news and I got it corrected about the information. Do you guys want to hear the story?
Yeah.
You have to hear the story. I have the mic. So, my incredible reporters in Asia who have been all over all things chip and AI, Nvidia, Huawei, award-winning reporters, published a story this morning. I actually published two. One saying that DeepSeek's latest model is being trained on smuggled Blackwells, Nvidia's latest.
Awesome. It's trade routes.
It basically, the other big news of this week, also foreshadowed in the information weeks ago, was that the Trump administration would allow a more advanced chip to be sold to China, the H200. And this was really interesting. And we had a great discussion with Patrick Moorhead on TITV about it this week, because it's unclear that China actually is going to allow its companies to use this chip, because China, of course, is pushing its dominance. So one of the stories the team broke was overnight, the meeting where the Chinese government assembled all its top tech companies to figure out what is the actual demand for this chip. Do you need it to be competitive? So that was one great story. Inside the China government confab with its leading tech titans. Second story, DeepSeek training its model on the most advanced tech there is out there. Now, there's been a lot of great reporting on smuggling. We are not the first to do that. I think Reuters had a great series about it last year. The Journal's done some reporting. So it is well known that these chips are getting smuggled into China and companies are getting access to them. So in the story, we asked Nvidia for comment. Nvidia, which, takes any point, will be as aggressive as they can be in denying a story. And they didn't deny it. They said, we have no knowledge of this, but we'll investigate all claims of smuggling, right? So then I wake up and, everyone's reported our story and understandably NVIDIA's comment, which is relevant. We put it in our story to begin with. But CNBC said it refuted our story. I was like, I don't believe that comment refutes the story. They're trying to cast doubt on it for sure, but there is nothing in there that is a refutation. And I would like to thank the very smart editors at CNBC who corrected their headline.
Truth in journalism.
And I am telling that story also because
it's a big one.
Well, I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of CNBC. And I'm also...
Is that rare for one to correct?
It's very rare. And I also think this isn't a big deal. No one was debating the substance of the article or what was said. But I believe there's a difference between denying something and the statement they put out there. And I think news organizations that take that statement and use it to throw shade against other professional journalists is just really not what we need of in this era when CEOs and executives are just pushing the boundary of calling true reporting fake news. And so, my team, historically, I would have ignored that. And my team was like, you have to get it corrected. And I'm like, you know what? I'll do my best. And so I appreciated that. And I think this is definitely how we're going to continue to respond. I mean, Mark Benioff denied a story that his CTO told us on the record and was quoted in the story. This is months ago now. But this is the new state. We wrote a story where the chief product officer, chief innovation officer, chief technology officer of Salesforce told us on the record they were in talks with companies about this project. We published 24 hours later the story, and Benioff called it fake news. And I was like, does this executive rescind the entire interview? No. So he said it, and we can believe it? Yes. Then why are you calling it fake news?
That's weird.
That's well done. News is expensive. Truth is expensive.
Good job getting to the truth, Jess.
Here's a question. How long do you think it'll be before we're like shooting boats full of H-200s offshore?
Wasn't that the joke? That was the joke at the beginning, right? That, we'd be hitting data centers.
It's like we're gonna shoot the boats on the way in with Brit's nose candy, and the boats on the way out with H-200. The reality is they're not coming from the U.S. What am I kidding? They're coming. Where are they coming from?
Singapore or something, somewhere closer.
It's wild. I was also, I was at a fascinating lunch with a bunch of CMOs who are partners of ours in the Valley yesterday. And one of the really smart ones made this case that when China talks about AI to its people and in general, they talk about real benefits it's delivering to people now. They talk about the health benefits. They have like integrated AI into many different parts of their economy and their government, and they talk about it. They don't talk about, is OpenAI beating beating Gemini. And like at the end of the day, these models are all advanced. They're all getting access to the arms in the arms war. And I think the US should have a lot more focus on what we're doing with AI and how it's benefiting people than in all this other stuff. But that's my hobby horse of the moment. People really don't like AI. I've been testing out my thesis that we just shouldn't call it AI.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean people don't like AI?
The backlash from like both a policy, but just, people living their lives concerned about the impact on energy prices and mental health is growing and growing and growing. And I think it's so telling that when Trump proposed a lighter touch regulatory approach that would let the federal law that was lighter touch supersede, or executive order supersede states' legislations, Republicans pushed back. Even now, Republicans are feeling the pressure to push back more and regulate more heavily AI because it is really, in many circumstances, unpopular.
People hated social media the whole way along too, but it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it hasn't stopped, right? And like no regulation really had any impact at all.
It's true, but countries are now banning it.
Yeah. Australia their ban went into effect today, I think.
Ban what?
Instagram and social media for people 16 and under.
It's like, there go all of our pictures of boomerangs and kangaroos.
It's a really interesting question, Dave. And I think time will tell how this reaction is different from others.
I guess that's what I'm asking. Like, is it because jobs? To me, like the main difference is like people fear for their jobs.
I think it's also mental health.
It's jobs, mental health, and energy prices.
Do you really think it's mental health? I mean,
yeah, I met with a candidate who's running for reasonably high office this morning, and we're going through kind of his community and what they care about in tech. And he was like, I hadn't heard much about it, but in the last 2 weeks, the anti-AI thing is really growing. He's like, it's three things. It's energy prices, it's a narrative about water, and it's mental health in kids. And like, he's like, these are real things coming up from constituents at like meaningful scale all of a sudden.
But mental health in kids?
Yeah, it's a Tristan. I mean, I was snarkily tweeting about this yesterday with like Tristan Harris on going, who has come back around, because another thing for him to be upset about. He was on the Diary of a CEO, which is actually a good podcast.
Yeah, great podcast.
Slo's an investor, very excited.
Yeah, happy to be a very tiny shareholder.
And he's kind of doing a whole, at least I only saw the clip on social media. I haven't seen the whole thing, but he's kind of out being like, ChatGPT's number one use case is now therapy. And like everyone can have a perfect therapist in a problem. Like that's terrifying for everyone, including OpenAI. Like you do not want to be someone's like always on low end therapist. That is not a highly commercially viable place to be. And it's super scary because everyone's going crazy.
Yeah, but Sam, I push back with the same counter that I just did to Jess, which is this exact same thing happened in the 2010s with mobile social media, where everybody was like, mobile social media is now everybody's friends. They're now everybody's parasocial friends. And Tristan was out there warning about the destruction of the mind and human society and all this stuff, and nothing changed.
That is a totally fair point. And what I said is like when Tristan's mad about it, it's probably not the right narrative because that's his consistently being wrong thing. But like,
I mean, there is something, right? Like social media is like genuinely pretty damaging to mental health too, right? But it's like have we made meaningful progress on this? Not really, right? Like, and so I worry that like we're going to be in the same place on AI. I don't know what the right narrative is, but like,
I mean, I would bet that society will take all the benefits of AI in exchange for all the negative things around AI, like in the long run. Like, I don't think that fundamental dynamic that we've seen play out with like privacy or social media like changes. But I think there's a strategic question these companies face versus like, I think I've talked about it at length here, or I've talked about it. Well, I'll talk about a lot of things, a lot of places, but like Gemini isn't Gemini AI. And I mean, Google does have AI mode. So this is somewhat a flawed example, right? But I think there is actually a question in how these products are talked about.
Yeah.
That companies are debating. But that's all I want to say. I want to end, guys. I want to bring this to a close with, can we talk about, like, whenever I do a Q&A, the first question I get is like, when's the bubble going to burst, or like bubble stuff? And I'm not particularly interested in prognosticating on that. But I really have some new evidence of how frothy things are feeling at the moment. I'm curious what you guys think about. Have you seen the billboards on the 101 lately?
We don't really go down the 101 down to where you live.
Okay, well, come visit. It is getting to like hype town. Like the billboards. Okay, so the billboards are now, we're an AI town. We're an AI company town, right? I mean,
Jess, what I will add to this is that Vegas, every single digital billboard in Vegas this weekend was AI billboards.
Was this a tech event you guys were at, or no?
No, it was the rodeo. The rodeo was going on in Vegas this weekend.
Okay.
And every single billboard was AI. I mean, it might have been left over from F1 last weekend, but I don't know.
Okay.
I really have always I've wanted this for years. I've always wanted someone to make a coffee table book of billboards of the 101, where you just take a photo of every single one for like decades, because it's fascinating to watch the turnover in them. Like, it goes from the iPod Nano Mini to the blah, 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 blah. Here's my basic thing. When my mother comes to town for 15 years, she'd be like, I don't know what any of these companies are or what they do. Or like, and that's true. She doesn't. You'd see Apple, Google, phone, things like that. It's gotten to the point where I go up and down the 101 and I don't know what any of these companies do, because they're just like, they're companies that serve companies that serve companies with some random AI shit, right? And every once in a while I see a company we invested in, I'm like, oh, there it is. But like,
well, they're not designed for us. They're recruiting engineers.
But I think there's something about like the bubble indicator. If you had a long-term study of 101 billboards,
I agree with this completely.
With the further the 101 billboard get away from a product that your mother would recognize.
Yep. This is a great indicator.
The more likely you're in a bubble, right? And like, I just think we're like tending into this zone where like, you're not even selling B2B companies, it's B2B cloud sub blah blahs. And you're like...
I agree. I am laughing because I agree.
But you need like some hedge fund. I wish some hedge fund had just sent a photographer every single day for the last 15 years and just take a picture of every billboard and make a coffee table book and build a data set.
The companies have them. The people who own the billboards have the data, don't they?
So here's the thing. I would pay Lamar outdoor advertising or something for like the long-term archive of their every single ad they've run on the 101. Because I think there's a really cool data set in there. Jess, it's a great data set for the information to build that out, and like you drop some AI on top of like, what the fuck are these ads? And like you're gonna have some cool leading indicator of disasters.
So I'm so into this, and let me tell you a little bit. I'm going to give you a very short map of the 101 billboards, right? So you have the AI companies recruiting engineers they just put their name. They don't even bother to describe what they're doing because it makes no sense. Then you have what I call Stripe Alley, which is the companies that Stripe has recently acquired or is partnered with and then acquires later. So Bridge is on there, and is it Metronome? And then the billboards change and they add a Stripe company underneath. So I look at it for what company Stripe's going to buy. Then you have the random ones that are trying to get attention. So Solana has a billboard saying like, we're growing faster than the Mag 7. We're growing faster than 40% faster or something,
Oh, well, let's skip over that part of the narrative. That's fine.
Yeah, they were growing faster than the Mag 7.
They were growing faster than you take your billboard down. But I love it. And I think between the changing landscapes of the billboard, the huge uptick in traffic, and I heard San Francisco rent prices are up 30%. I heard that from my dad, so it must be true. He's my source. I just think like, We're big boom indicators.
Here's the fun metric. I think if you did dollars, let's not even talk about EBITDA. If you just did dollars of revenue per billboard average per day, right? So you take all the billboards and add them up, and all the revenue of all the companies running all the billboards and add it up, right? And divide by the ad spend or something. There's like some number you can pull out of that is like a very good leading bubble indicator.
Yeah. And also, like, just imagine, I mean, we're wrapping up 2025. Just imagine we're sitting here at the end of 2026 and we're talking about, like, in real terms, like the wheels are in motion for a SpaceX IPO, an OpenAI IPO, an Anduril IPO, an Anthropic IPO. Like, holy shit. Maybe a ByteDance IPO, but probably not here. It's wild.
We need some IPOs.
Well, I also think people are going to want to get all this stuff out. I mean, this is the thing, is like the great question of the whole thing. As we've talked about many times, minus AI, we're in a recession, right? AI is the only thing keeping the US out of a recession. Politically, a huge incentive to stoke the fires of the story, right? All these companies, if you want, like right now, GDP looking pretty good, real GDP, right? Because it's all Chinese housing boom computers, but still, GDP number is better than recession, right? And like the question is, what's the next shoe? So now you're going to put out all these IPOs or whatever, let the party continue. We'll see what happens with the midterms. We'll see what happens when people realize we're screwed on the debt, right? Like there's like these shoes to drop, but there is this thing which is like, in some ways, like imagine there's this huge debt problem for our society, big picture. The only way out.
I think we're there. I don't think imagine. I think we have a huge debt problem for society.
Well, we're there. There's like a debt wall. There's a wall of debt that's really bad. And like our only chance is to get ramming velocity of the economy to blow through the wall, right? Like we have to warp through it. And so like, this is just like pull out all the stops, IPO everything and pray.
Agree. Yes, I agree.
What's the opposite of a soft landing? Hard crash. Like, what's more extreme than a hard crash landing?
Hitting a wall, slamming into a wall.
A smithereens landing.
So we know some smart people who kind of have this thesis, which isn't unreasonable, that like Sorkin is personally responsible for somewhat of the dip in the market recently because everyone's reading his book, which is quite good, 1929.
No, it is not his fault.
Okay, you have to give the fullness of the theory.
All the smart people are.
Wait, all the smart people think it's Sorkin's fault? His book came out after this dip, Sam.
Yeah, but all the No, it didn't. The Wall Street people are all reading the book.
Dave, the theory goes, and by all the smart people, I can attest to 5 people. But here's the theory goes.
But 5 very smart people who trade a lot of money.
5 of the smartest. Is the theory goes, I'm the one who told Sam about this, so now I have to defend it.
I also have talked to the same sources, but yeah, go for it.
Okay. That if you look at the book, the zeitgeisty book that these big money people were reading in the dot-com rise, it was Michael Lewis's new thing.
I thought it was Liar's Poker.
No, I'm sure it switched at some point. But if you're looking at, pick a moment. Don't let data get in the way of a good story, Dave. So then, if you look now, it's a story about the greatest financial crash in history, or I don't know, maybe we've had bigger ones since, but probably not. And again, it's just in the zeitgeist, right? It's the zeitgeist book. People have read it, they've not read it, but it kind of is on people's mind. And I think there is some truth to that. Not in that it's like totally determining the outcome, but I think that juxtaposition is interesting. Okay, your take, Dave, and then we're going to give their people their piece and go.
I really love our friend Ricky Van Veen's take from his email newsletter last week.
Let's drop that we're all on it so we look cool.
We all have done that so many times, Sam. That was an unfair call out.
The big content, I like this point that he makes, which is like that the big content thing, whether it's a book or a movie, is no longer the front of the conversation anymore. It's actually the conversation about those things that is the conversation now. And so like, most books don't get, there's sort of concentric circles. Like a book only gets read by a certain number of people, then the book gets recommended to a certain number of people, and then the book gets talked about on a bunch of podcasts. And I actually think that, Sorkin's book actually just fits into the zeitgeist that was already happening, Jess. That like this worry about
maybe, but it stokes it. But it's on people's mind.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like this worry about data center capex specifically, and like all of the Mag 7 going off balance sheet to borrow debt in order to finance these huge capex expenditures over the next 2 years, was already on people's minds. And the 1929 narrative was a huge narrative of debt, as is most of these huge crashes. And so this was already something that people were talking about, and his book just happens to fit perfectly into that, right? He started working on that book like 2 years ago, right?
No, like 10 years. He's working on it for 10 years.
So it just happens to hit at this exact right time for what the conversation about the conversation is right now.
Causation, correlation. Who knows the difference? I don't know.
I will say in closing, I want to give you one fun bubble watch that just came into my inbox that I'm clearing. As
Oracle just reported and is tanking everyone. So just for the bubble watch.
Oh my God, pull the bids.
Oh, this means Paramount's out too, by the way. That means Ellison's out.
Netflix wins.
Here's my inbox. NetJets Starlink update. We just completed our highest volume day in history, completing 1,000 owner flights on Sunday after Thanksgiving. And Netflix has just inked a deal with SpaceX to put 600 NetJets tail. So there's your bubble warning. NetJets all-time high flights.
You said Netflix. Did you mean Starlink?
No, he said NetJets.
NetJets, the airplanes.
Now has Starlink.
It's NetJets Starlink. Netlink.
Netlink.
Guys, I just want to say buckle up. Buckle up.
Wild times.
Guys, our predictions are next week. I want everyone to come prepared.
Okay, we're doing it. Can't wait. To our wonderful listeners, a big thank you.
What about your pop culture corner?
Oh, we're also supposed to tell people to subscribe.
I was just going to say subscribe, and I was in the comments link.
Oh, yeah.
Brit has huge news.
Okay, last thing. In honor of Taylor Swift's docuseries, which I know Sam's going to watch, and Jess will be the only one that really understands this alongside Dave. I got followed by a really huge Instagram account this week. I don't know how they found me. They only follow like 600 other people, and now I'm one of them. The account is Swifties for Eternity. It is the #1 fan account on Instagram, and she follows me. I don't know why, but I think we should manifest something.
Bring her on the pod.
I think we're gonna put together a Bay Area Taylor Swift event, and you have to prove you're a Swiftie to get in.
I really want to find a company to invest in that creates fan pages for people and manages them to like boost the reputation. Like I don't know a fan page, and like I feel like I should make my own just to make me seem more important.
Are you sure you don't have one?
No, but this is my thing. I need a company that mints fan pages.
Somebody has to have made one about you by now.
So then they'll follow Brit. My fan page will follow Brit, and she'll feel special. It's like there's a whole strategy here that we're not playing.
It's like the people who hire paparazzi to take photos of them.
And they're not wrong.
All celebrities do that.
You know who else follows me? Hillary Duff.
I'm going to start calling paparazzi and telling them where I am. Just some.
I love it. Jess is done with us.
I just think everybody's done with us. Let's just call a spade a spade. Thank you to those who listen this far. We love chit-chatting for you every week. Brit teased the predictions episode. You will not want to miss it.
Is it 1 year or 10-year predictions?
Next year, Sam. Next year.
Well, are we going to review last year's? Because there were some batshit ones that I'd like to call out.
And good ones that I'd like to call out. Yes.
Fine.
We will pull.
Fine.
Okay. These guys really Sam must really have no one coming to the sauna right now. He really wants to stay on. So I'm going to spare everyone.
I have a call. I got to call an entrepreneur.
Okay. Call an entrepreneur. We'll see you back here next week for another episode of More or Less. Goodbye. Bye.
See you later.
Bye, everyone.
If you enjoyed this show, please leave us a virtual high five by rating it and reviewing it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Find more information about each episode in the show notes and follow us on social media by searching for @MoreOrLess, @DaveMorin, @Lesson, @JLesson, and as for me, I'm @Brit. See you guys next time.